What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose here, delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. You can sign up for my newsletter in the description below and get a free graphic novel from me. And I write superhero and science fiction stuff. So if you like Star Wars, there'll be something for you. I hope you enjoy and read the books along with everybody else. That's the fun stuff we got going with the channel. Awesome. This is Star Wars The New Republic Legends Epic Collection, Volume 4. Now, I actually skipped over Volume 3 for reading, because I just want to get right to this. And this is the Thrawn trilogy, the books, adapted to comics. And this was done in the 90s, and it started off with Heir to the Empire. And it is written by Mike Barron, who did all the scripting of this, with Oliver Vatine and Fred Blanchard as the artists. And, standard comic fare. This is not like particularly 90s or anything like that. Did a beautiful job with the Star Destroyer there. Opening up just like you would expect a Star Wars movie to do. And here is Grand Admiral Thrawn, who gets introduced in this series. Now, in the first one, Luke Skywalker kind of comes across like some weird species and is trying to get, they're called the Nogri. I guess he really doesn't come across them himself, but others do. And he and Skywalker gets caught up in this like plot with this like smuggler guy named Card, and there is a lady who's very force sensitive named Mara Jade who gets introduced in this too. And this really sets up the Star Wars extended universe for the future. They're trying to get some help from the Empire. The Empire is also working with Card, and so there's kind of a double cross that goes on over the course of this. Skywalker gets captured. The Nogri are kind of working under Thrawn, but they realize that Princess Leia is actually the heir to Vader, and they are very loyal to Vader, almost like with a godlike worship. So they end up helping out the rebellion towards the end of things. Now, Thrawn is vicious, just like any of the other Star Wars villains, but he's very, very much meticulous compared to everybody else. He really pays attention to species art and things like that. Yeah, the art's fine. What I did notice about reading this as I got through it is, you notice how wordy everything is. This is a novel that's changed into a comic. The pacing is therefore just really actually on the slow side for a comic book. It makes it a little difficult to get through at points because of that. Now, there's some great spots too, and I don't think the art's bad, and I think Mike Barron did a good job adapting this story. But it does go to show that different mediums don't always just translate one-to-one exactly as they would, because novel-wise, I mean, this is a 10 out of 10 best novel ever, and, if you like comics, I recommend reading this version for sure, just so you kind of get that future history of Star Wars, which is really awesome through here. But the novel is honestly just a little bit better of a read throughout the course of this. You get an epic confrontation at the end between the Rebels and the Imperials. The Rebels kind of hold them off. And Thrawn says, it's not really that much of a defeat. So, and then they go into Dark Force Rising, which is the next chapter of this. But it turns out there's like this fleet of ships that got lost by the Imperials and all that. And there's also like a traitor within the Alliance that's given information out. And so they're trying to figure that out on the Alliance end. There's lots of betrayals going on. They're going after Akbar, of all people. Oh my gosh, Mara Jade keeps going in and learning her past, and she was apparently working for the Emperor back in the day of things. Really nice, complex, woven story here. Again, like this is a pretty intensive trilogy of novels throughout the course of all of this. The rebellion, or whatever the new republic at this point, is really trying to get themselves established, and they're finding it hard to get people to work for them because they just don't want to cross anybody on the Imperial side. And it's just causing problems all the way around. Now, this fleet is getting captured, and the rebels are trying to get to it first, and they're very scared about this, and they're like, well, how is the Empire going to staff all these ships? This is a big deal. And they find out something at the end that's going to be mind-blowing. There's another plot thread that's going through this. There's this fallen Jedi who is like trying to vie for control of the Empire himself. He thinks he's, basically this godlike person, and he wants Luke Skywalker to be brought to him at his side. And Thrawn's kind of using him, but he's kind of a bit of a nut job, so it's difficult on Thrawn at points. Now, in the third book of this series, which we're almost getting there, The Last Command, they end up kind of splitting their ways, betraying each other, and Luke Skywalker goes and tries to go to this like clone facility where they're going to build all these clones to staff these ships to try to stop them over the course of this. Now, when he gets there eventually, and Mara Jade is being riddled with dreams and all that about how she should kill Skywalker. When he does get there and the team gets there and all that, they find that Jedi is there. They have to have an epic confrontation, and there's an epic battle between the Rebellion and Thrawn at the same time, and the Nagri come back and actually sadly kill Thrawn at the end. It's sad that they removed this great villain. I would have liked to see him, for a few more books. There's some follow-ups to it, but of course, with Thrawn being dead, it just kind of is what it is. Now, really great story, as I said. I prefer the novel version to this. This is a little slow in comic form, but it was still fun to read. Mike Baron did a really good job with the dialogue. It's just there was a lot of it. And the art was fine. I mean, it was just like standard, kind of forgettable art fare over the course of this. So enjoyable stuff. I'd call it an 8 out of 10 anyway overall. If you can find a copy of this, I believe it's out of print. Pick it up. It's definitely worth the read. Some of the best Star Wars stories in the world. All right, hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this. We'll be back soon.